Live from the Laundry Room, the show where we catch up with some of our favorite college partners, our educational professionals, and just our friends. We wanted to jump into a special mini-series of Live from the Laundry Room. We're going to call this series, Who's in Your School? And today we are privileged to have our friend from Riverside High School in the Ayers Foundation office, Miss Brianna Morton, a.k.a. Beyonce. Bree, how is it going during quarantine? How are you personally handling all of this social distancing and such?
First of all, is my wig on straight? Because that's where we're at.
It's lagging like the Wi-Fi, like my Wi-Fi. It's just a little...
It's a little crooked. Is it on? Is that better?
No, it's good. It's
okay.
Square.
That's where we're at, Jesse. Roll out of the bed. The wig might be on backwards if I put it on for the day. Usually it only goes on for days that we have to film or I need to talk to people and they can actually see me. Otherwise, it's just wide open from morning until bedtime. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
But busy, but good.
Is your house kind of like mine where like there's no like organized bedtime has gone out the window and you just wish we were almost back in school just to have that?
Yeah, so I've been really doing a lot of thinking about the job that my parents and Anna's teachers and babysitters have done raising her over the last couple of years, and how dare them leave her with me.
It takes a village.
Endless hours.
Yeah, that village disappeared. Like now it's...
Funny story, my mom, like when she was born, she said, it takes an army to raise a baby. And I was like, an army? Don't you mean a village? And she was like, I meant to say a village. I said, no, you. So I called her the other day and I'm like, no, you had it right. We need an army. I need an army for her.
Mm-hmm. No,
this is rough.
Completely agree. So during this time, and for those that don't know, we all work together. My name is Jesse. I'm at Lexington High School. My co-host is always Mary Lauren. Garner works at Pitt County High School, and then we have Bree at Riverside. So a lot of people don't get to see us together like a lot unless we're at counselor things to learn together. So we're always kind of in contact and have meetings and such, yet we don't get to really, like our students don't see us together, I think is really what I mean by that. And so so we've all, as the college access counselors, have been working from home since about the end of March. Whenever our schools went out, we let everyone know, hey, if you need us, we are working. Like, this is not a coronacation. We are working from home. Please, we will be reaching out, answer the calls, things like that. And so, Bree, tell us a little bit about some stuff that you expected to deal with in the month of April that you did deal with or didn't. And then maybe on the flip side of that, what are some things that you did not at all expect to deal with in April, helping students that you then had to deal with?
Okay, so some of the things just going stir crazy for one. So just talking to students that are like, gosh, I didn't realize how much I would miss being at school. And some of the difficulties with internet access, that's been a little bit of a challenge, but I feel like most of our students, have worked through that pretty well and figured out places to go and get internet, whether it's at the municipal building in Parsons or for the ones while the Parsons Center was open, they were able to get internet there. Some of the things I think I wasn't really expecting was just the amount of students who are working so much more. Like we think about so many people are having to stay home, but I have a ton of students that are working at a lot of our local grocery stores or who have picked up jobs, like even our college students who have picked up jobs at Walmart or Kroger or wherever, and they're working 30 and 40 hours a week. So I thought everybody would be excited to talk to me when I called, but my college kids are like, I'm fine, I'm busy. I have college work to do and I'm working a part-time job and I ain't got time for you right now. They say it a lot nicer than that, but that's basically the vibe that I get. So I'm like, okay, just kind of holler at me once the semester's over with. Let me kind of know, what I can help you with for next year if there is anything. And I think that was unexpected for me. I thought that they were going to be like ringing the phone off the hook, and the college kids are kind of just they're doing their own thing. So that's weird.
Have you noticed, this is kind of the general vibe that I've gotten from a lot of my students. I've had a few students that were in classes that just had a tough time transitioning to online, obviously. And it wasn't that they're not disciplined for it. It was just an odd class to go online, like arts and sciences and things like that. But the majority of my students that have actually answered the phone, so I will say that, they had to answer the phone first, or have reached out to me, and I just check in with them. Like they're checking in with me about something else, and I go, tell me about classes. A lot of my students actually loved it. And they were like, I actually talked to a student today that said that the first half of his semester was the hardest he's ever worked, trying to just like get everything done. And he's like, when we went online, he's like, it obviously wasn't the best, scenario to be in of why. He said, but I actually was able to work at my own pace, and I actually did much better in the second half of the semester. And that's something I wasn't expecting. I expected, like so many others helped online, that they wouldn't have the discipline for it, or they would, just freak out. And so now there's a lot of them that aren't answering the phone, that aren't going to classes. So I will say that. But the ones I've talked to, that was unexpected for me. They actually loved it. They're like, oh, this worked out a lot better for me, actually. My grades are much higher.
Yeah.
Have you had similar experience, or are you hearing something different?
Yes, I guess I have had some of both. So some that are just like, look, I don't have internet at home. But yeah, for some of them, that I think it was the courses that really surprised me, like it was medical related students.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, no, I actually really am enjoying having my classes online because I already listen or re-listen to the lecture. So I can just take notes from home. I can pause it and start back and all that. And I was like, really? Like medical school? You're doing med school stuff online and you feel good about that?
I didn't think about the ability to pause a lecture and just like take a breather, make sure you've wrote that whole sentence out, and kind of mentally get ready for the next part of it. I bet that is really beneficial. I did not think about that at all.
Yeah. I guess I think about scrambling to take notes in school when I was in college, and my notes just looked like a mess. And I would jot things down in corners that you forgot to write or whatever. But yeah, to be able to pause and say, oh, I think I missed something there, and be able to go back and make better notes. I was like, well, that's a whole different way of thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And then some that have been stressed because they are trying to work more. And so since they're not in classes, and the amount of work that comes with doing online, a lot of times you're doing a lot of what feels like busy work. So they're not thinking about it in terms of, if you were in class for 3 hours this week, you're doing 3 hours worth of listening to a lecture online. It's just, it's a different thought, a different concept. So some that have kind of said that they're struggling with that, but overall the vibe's been pretty good.
So what about as we prepare, because we work with everybody and all the students in the high school. So what are you telling those juniors? What do they need to be preparing for? Normally we're having financial aid nights and starting individual meetings with those juniors. So what's something that you can tell them, and what do they need to be working on? And how can they reach out to you and things like that?
Okay, so we just did actually a dual enrollment video with Dr. Deere, talking about the opportunities at the Parsons Center, and then also the TCAT. So we had a junior, well, not even just a junior, a rising junior, rising senior meeting before all this happened. I guess it was in February. So we kind of touched base on some of the information that we put out, and we'll be linking all the contact information for Dr. Deere, Miss Amanda, myself. I've had some junior parents that have reached out about turning in documentation to us that will be needed for the senior year, that they just want to go ahead and get in so that they'll be eligible for the Ayers scholarship. And so I've kind of told them to hold off for the most part. And once things kind of get back to normal, we'll set up times they can turn it in. If you want to email it to me, if you want to fax it, the days that I come by the office and kind of check on things, if they want to fax stuff in, and then I can let them know that I've received it, or if they want to wait till that day and fax it. So just really kind of work on building your resume. Some of our juniors already had, or some of our sophomores already had resumes that they had created, updating those to get ready for when you get ready to do college applications. Work on those essays that the Goals, Ambitions, and Dreams is used for our local Decatur County Education Foundation scholarship, and that's an essay they can tweak for other scholarships as well. Work on those. This is a great time for those English teachers, if you want to send them the essays that you're writing for colleges about different things, so they can proof those for you and have that ready for your senior year. So just little things that they can work on now, since they're bored anyway, that they will have done for next year when I'm yelling at them again in person, and we're all stressing out together because we don't know how to function in a school setting anymore. just get that stuff done. It'll make it easier for everybody.
So before we move on to the what we like to call the fun part of the video, we're going to play a little game with you. And it's not hard. There's no winning and no losing. There's no race involved. However,
I'm more likely to win a race than I am any trivia questions. I can't even do second grade homework. I'm trying to do second grade work.
I feel like if you name drop a race, though, we do need to give a little background as to why we say there's no race involved. Would anybody like to share, or is this a me thing?
Well, I don't race, so I'm just the judge most of the time.
Yeah. So when the Ayers Foundation counselors get together, they're all together. For some reason, and I blame it on me because I'm the one that started, is we like to race. There's no point in us racing. None of us are athletes. None of us are in shape, really. I'm speaking from personal experience about myself. Now, some of them are in shape. Jacob Tucker, who was on the show last time, he's in shape, so he obviously won his race. But yes, that's why there's no race involved. There's no winners or losers. We were not all together in the same place, so we're not racing today.
No Ayers Olympics today.
Not today, but this is a speed round, and it's a mixture of this or that and would you rather.
Okay,
so you don't really have much time to think about it. You just have to tell me the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Ready? Cookies or cake?
Cake.
When you go to the movies, do you get popcorn or candy?
Popcorn.
Beyonce or Tina Turner?
Ooh, okay. Tina.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's?
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A?
Closed on Sunday.
Closed on Sunday.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hamburger.
Campus visits or college summit?
Campus visits.
Singing or dancing?
Dancing.
This is just a random question. If you could only attend 3 more concerts for the rest of your life, what would they be?
I've never even been to a concert. I don't know how to answer. I don't know how to answer that question.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all, I did not know until all this happened that I'm an introvert. Did y'all know that?
Isn't Snoop coming to Jackson?
Well, if everybody stays inside.
Mayor,
we're going. We are
the mayor says no because they're out in Jackson doing the most.
Okay, well, if you had to, dead or alive, 3 concerts for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Oh my gosh.
And I will let Jesse answer this too because he looks very intrigued by this question.
Dead or alive, it really upped the game because my number 1 was Prince and he passed, sadly.
Yes.
There had been rumors right before he passed that he was going to do like secret shows in Nashville. And I was like trying to search them out. I was like, has anyone heard anything about a Prince like piano show in Nashville? And then he had passed. So my number 1, dead or alive, is Prince.
Yeah, they said it's an experience. Yeah. I don't even know. I love some Adele. I feel like she really gets into it. It's not like a whole lot of like movement. She's just singing, but she's so powerful.
But I don't know if I want to be sad for that long, though. You know,
She makes you sad.
Well, all of her music's so sad. She's like a sadder version of Taylor Swift who can really sing. And like, I don't know if I want to feel that for 2 hours or 3 hours. Not that Taylor Swift can't sing. I just mean like Adele is more. I really messed up. The Taylor Swift fans are going to attack me now because now it looks like I said she can't sing.
I also think that was a little bit of a Freudian slip.
Not at all. She can sing totally fine.
Okay,
you want to redo? You want to redo that?
Move on.
This is live.
If you had to grow up in a different decade, I will let both of you answer this. If you had to grow up in a different decade, which one would it be? You have 5 seconds.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Beyonce answer first.
The 70s?
Okay.
I would have loved to have been a teenager in the early 80s. So like 12 in 1980 and then have the whole 80s. I love the 80s metal, like the hard rock, like the Motley Crue, the Guns N' Roses, all of those guys. Well, Guns N' Roses was later 80s, but like all of those guys, it would have been awesome to like have seen them in like small clubs instead of like the big stadiums now. So
I'm going to have to say my answer would be the 20s because I'm fascinated with the 20s, like dresses and the dancing. And anyway, okay.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
We're back in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather all your shirts be itchy on your skin for the rest of your life or use one-ply toilet paper for the rest of your life?
Give me the one-ply toilet paper.
I'm with you on that one.
If you had to pick a superpower, what would it be?
I want to fly.
Jesse?
You know, I don't really have any experience with superhero stuff. I don't have any thought, so I don't. I'd have to go with Iron Man and Batman's ability to just have a ton of money and have a bunch of toys. You know, like Iron Man has a whole like suit that lets him fly, and he didn't have any special. You know, he wasn't born that way. You know, he just bought him a jetpack. So that's my first.
So you want your superpower to be unlimited wealth?
Got it. Boom. I mean, look at
Okay. Would you rather give up search engines for the rest of your life or social media?
social media, I think.
Would you rather have a flying carpet or a swimming underwater car?
Flying carpet. I don't play with water like that.
I was just about to say, me and Bree don't play with no water.
I don't play with water like that.
Get trapped in a submarine. Mm-mm.
Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Okay, this is the last question. And Jesse, this is not for you unless you want to answer it. Free people or airy?
Free people. I love the free people.
Their clothes.
I was so confused. I love free people too. I think freedom's awesome.
You're like
I'm all for it. Like I don't
America.
get it at all. And I was like, so you're either free or you can't breathe? I don't.
Okay, that was my last one. You did a great job. See, there's no winning or losing.
No winning or losing, except for tacos. Those poor guys, they lost a pizza. So this is our fun segment of the show where we do a game like that, or we talk about my favorite part, which is what you're doing at home. So I will start off this segment because we like to show off something. If you haven't seen the show, this started with Mary Lauren showing off Diamond Art. And we joked about it because Mary Lauren and I, unlike Bree, are extroverts. So we are really wanting to get out, but can't. So we're finding ourselves with these quirky quarantine habits. We've put together a lot of Legos throughout the course of the show. And so I thought I would show. So we are filming this on a weekday. We'll just say that. We'll keep it mysterious. But this past weekend, though, was filled with video games for me. I didn't have as much going on, obviously, and I'm stuck at home. So my kids and I were given a PS4, and that was like a huge blessing, obviously. But something happened. I found a Star Wars game that's kind of like Call of Duty, and it's called Battlefront. And it was only like $20, and I got to say, it is eating up so much time. As soon as I put those kids to bed at bedtime, I'm lighting some people up with lasers on this Star Wars game because you still run around. It's kind of like a Call of Duty game, but I didn't want to show off just a PS4 game. Something that my son and I are really getting into right now is Super Nintendo games, getting some old retro stuff. We watched Sonic, and he really wanted to play some Sonic, so that's on the Sega, so we played some Sega. But a game right now that we're all really playing right now it's an old Power Ranger fighting game, and so of course I was smoking them for a while. And then the tables have now turned, though, and it's pretty evenly matched. So I'm finally getting to that age where Nolan is able to start beating me at some video games. He doesn't let me forget it. So that is what you're doing at home at the Turner household. Bree, what you doing at home?
Second grade homework.
Woo!
I realized I don't know multiplication tables or contractions. So that's fun. No, I feel like most of it revolves around Anna because she's so high energy. She has to be entertained all the time. So she got roller skates for her birthday. So we've tried roller skating and my arms are worn out because I pretty much have to hold her the entire time. We're still trying our gymnastics and we're trying to master the back walkover, and she just pretty much lays backwards. So that's rough on the arms as well. I'm getting a really good arm workout lately, and we had a dance competition last night. Of course, I won. It was more like jazzercise. I kind of just pushed her out of the way so I could win. I don't know, like a move like this, maybe some of that stuff. But just really kind of trying to be active every day, at least a little bit. So that we don't go stir crazy. And the Avenger series, we're watching all those. Last night we finished Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh,
so
cool.
I think I've got like 7 more. No, 5 more.
Yeah, ish.
Because we're doing them in order, the order they're supposed to go in. Yes.
That's
so
right.
Only have a few of those left.
Now you said you mean the whole Marvel.
I mean the Marvel. I'm sorry, not Avengers. Yeah, Marvel.
Avengers, but like there's 4
Avengers,
but there's like 20 something Marvel. So you're
right.
seeing the whole 10 years. That's awesome.
Yes. So we're almost done with that. Mm-hmm. And then of course I've caught up on some of the Netflix series and all that fun stuff.
Any classic Netflix shows you want to mention?
Nah.
No? Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm good. Thanks.
My dorky Netflix show I'm watching, it's not actually on Netflix. I started watching, there's a Star Wars, I'm just Star Warsing it all up today. There's a Star Wars show on Disney Plus, and it's not Mandalorian. Mandalorian was also amazing. It was like a Western kind of show.
I watched it, yeah.
So good. This was actually just a cartoon, and I thought, well, cartoons are kids shows like that. I'm not going to watch that. And then I may or may not have shed a tear during one part of it, and I was like, oh, this is sad. Oh, this is for adults. I don't even know if I want Nolan having this emotional trauma. So yeah, so that's been what, because I feel like I've watched all of Netflix, like I've seen The Office a bunch. So Mary Lauren, tell us, what do you have to show us today? What you doing at home?
We'll have 2 things. So the first thing is this shirt that I'm wearing. It just came in the mail today, and I had forgotten that I'd ordered it. So I've officially reached an unsafe level of online shopping during quarantine. 2 shirts came in, actually. I was like, oh, look at that. Then, salons are apparently never going to be open again. Well, my sister conned me into dyeing her hair last night.
Okay.
So I'm not going to show you the full time-lapse video, but here's a quick little snippet of what happened. It's actually not that terrible, but there we are having a good time.
Y'all did like real deal. You got aluminum foil.
Yeah, I see the aluminum foil. Wow.
Yeah. Mary Lauren's beauty shop. And
Mary Lauren's nails are done.
I painted these bad boys. But there's Jenny's hair. Look, it's actually not bad.
Wow.
I was very impressed with myself.
When I got blonde highlights when I was a teenager, it did not look like that. Like, wow.
I mean, they were not perfect. There were little spots that were a little bit bronzy, but for, not going to get my cosmetology license and not running a backyard beauty shop,
yeah,
I'm doing pretty good. Don't come find me.
So what you're saying is the video appointments that we have available for all of us, they don't need to hit you up with a hair appointment through those video links. That is just
absolutely not.
Too late. Look, too late. I need my nails and my wig needs a touch up.
Hey,
well, she asked me, she said, because
I can send you my wig and you can just do it. I don't even have to come. I can mail you it.
social distancing. Look at this mess. And so my sister was like, well, I'll just color yours too. I was like, nah, I don't think so.
No.
I'm not using hair dye for $4. It's not happening.
I know. I've done so well so far with not doing anything drastic to any of our hairs. Obviously, Nolan and I are more at risk than Ella because it took Ella. Ella was 4. Ella was 4 when I got her first haircut, and with me and Nolan, though, I really thought by now we would have just shaved our heads, like just completely shaved our heads. I've had a shaved head before, but I did get desperate. So at my church, one of the girls that co-leads with me, the guest experience team, I hit her up. She's a professional cosmetologist. I said, hey, I know this is dumb, and you can tell me this is dumb, but Kool-Aid damaged hair, right? And she sent me back something and said, yes, oh, yes, it damages your hair. I said, okay, I just saw this cool picture where this little girl had her hair in like 4 different bowls of Kool-Aid, and I had like this brief quarantine insanity where I thought Ella would really like unicorn hair. Like, how desperate are we? And she goes, don't do that. I went, okay, you're right. I just
trying to be creative.
I'm just trying to find something because I can only paint her nails. When I paint nails, it doesn't look anything like Mary Lauren's. I mean, they look awful. Like, because I get the cuticles. You know, we got a little knuckle getting painted. I mean, it's because she's small and she's a little fidgety. Sometimes too. No, I'm just bad at painting fingernails, honestly. But yeah, we paint it all, and I only have pink and purple. Those are the only 2 colors that Jesse's salon has in stock. So before we go though, I didn't actually warn you that we were going to do this, Bree. Bree is also, has professional counselor status. And you have such great words of wisdom for us whenever we come and talk to you. We always have a good time whenever we all get together. But when things are serious though, you always have just the best advice. And I wanted to ask you if, and this could be a piece of advice that you have recycled, that you've given to somebody in the last month and a half, but is there any kind of words of wisdom that you would like to pass on to end this with? And this could be aimed at your juniors or your seniors or your current college kids, or this could just be aimed at humanity as a whole. Just anything during this crazy social distancing time, this quarantine time, this still uncertainty, even as we get to where we're starting to schedule graduations. I know my school and your school have scheduled graduations, and of course we're all so nervous about safely social distancing and still going out in public. Do you have anything you'd like to pass on? Just some good words of wisdom there.
So I think one big thing that we can all do always, and especially during times like this, when you are at home and you do feel alone, is being very aware of how you feel emotionally. And then reaching out to someone when you do feel a certain level of anxiety or a certain level of fear or whatever that kind of negative emotion that you're starting to go through. Of course, it's best if you can reach out before you get to that point. But if you do feel like you're heading that direction where you just really need to talk to someone, and sometimes it's not always easy to talk to the people that are in our house. Sometimes it is easier to talk to people that are outside of our home or outside of our normal circle, but making sure that you do reach out and seek help as needed, whether it's talking to one of your counselors at school, because many of them are still available. If you email them, or for those who do have phone numbers where you can reach them, make sure that you're reaching out to people that can and will help you in every way that they possibly can, that you can open up honestly and express how you're feeling, whatever that feeling is. It's always best to be able to talk through it with somebody who can help you get to the right resources if needed.
Super solid. Something that we should all kind of take into account is our own kind of emotional health and well-being. Just kind of, when you say almost during this kind of time, kind of checking in with yourself daily, even just during this time, because things change so quickly daily, and things that are our normal anxiety triggers are getting just multiplied out there during this time of somewhat panic, when even though we're not panicking as much as our own homes, hopefully, just still triggers out there. Thank you so much for that, Bree. And thank you so much for joining us today, too, on this, what we're calling a mini series of Who's in Your School. Bree is at Riverside High School, and we're going to put up above this, we're going to put a link. If you go to Riverside High School and you're a senior or a college grad, or even some juniors that need to get a hold of Bree, we're going to put our contact information above. So if you need to get a hold of her, we, college access counselors, we do a lot during the summer. A lot of people assume that we are off June and July as well. We're not. So please feel free, even after the school year is over and graduation has happened, we are still available for you. Make sure you contact your correct school counselor. But that is all we have for you today. And this is Jesse and Mary Lauren signing off live from the laundry room. You guys stay safe and wash your hands.